What do I mean by the term Gladio Nationalism? My friend Milk Truck Driver brings up a good point about the recent hubbub in the White House. The sort of like performance between a certain ruler, or well, you should say a certain puppet of a regime in Eastern Europe, getting a sort of verbal licking by Trump and Vance, that you have even people in Europe who are on the quote unquote far right that are very disappointed with the lack of American involvement. These same people that are of various nationalists of various sorts, who are rightfully skeptical of American meddling in Europe and essentially Europe's position of servitude to the Washington regime, are now all of a sudden upset that the maxims of the global American empire are not being fulfilled by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. It doesn't really make sense that people that are so vilified by the post-World War consensus of anti-fascism and so forth, why they would be so taken aback by this. Now, I will refrain from chastising, people like, such as people in Norway, Finland, and so forth, the Baltic states, who have, legitimate ethnic grievances with that one federation in Eastern Europe. Again, I don't know what I can say for your YouTube OPSEC. A lot of people have pointed out this sort of hypocrisy of a lot of the liberal regime supporting this nation while they have very colorful battalions who are fans of a certain government in mid-century Germany, if you catch my drift. But this has really been going on for longer than we think. If you look into Operation Gladio, where various intelligence agencies, mostly MI6 and the CIA, were recruiting people in the far right in Europe against, for the purposes of anti-communism, essentially. Now, keep in mind, I do not fault legitimate, grievances of various nationalists against the Federation in the East. But at the same time, you have to realize that a lot of these people, especially the far right in this one particular nation that is being supported by the rest of Europe and, other world leaders of the free world without Donald Trump, it's very interesting how they get taken in by this. But in reality, you still have a more, let's say, left of center version of Gladio nationalism, where you are given your little piece of nationalist identity and sentiment, but ultimately it's only for the purposes of the greater, what I call the transnational progressive regime. That's why this conflict has led to so much ideological confusion.